SideScrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/SideScrollers. It's time for SideScrollers on YouTube.com with me, Stuttering Craig. I like movies that have sand in them. Wow.
He doesn't like it in his mouth.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
I don't like the texture in my mouth.
What? And brought to you by you, the G2 community at patreon.com/SideScrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for SideScrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to SideScrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and Twitch.tv. I hope this music doesn't move. What's going on, everybody? Hi, I'm Stuttering Craig. Happy Friday to you. Woo! Man, we got a good one today. Lots to talk about. I am beyond excited. The energy is flowing in my veins. In case you cannot tell, I'm excited to be here. We have so much happening today on the Plays channel. We got Dan popping up a little bit later with the Retro Gaming Police. We're going to talk about all that stuff. We're talking lawsuits today. Lawsuits, what a great way to finish your week with Lawsuit Friday. Hi, Travis. How are you?
It's early to put a law hat on today.
Get that.
Okay.
Get your legalese on, man. It's going to be a good one. And then we have Blabs over here taking a nice little sip of her tea. Hi, Blabs.
Hi, I have Earl Grey tea today in my little dog mug. Anyway, It's Friday. I'm happy.
Can you say engage for me?
Engage.
Okay. Star Trek fans will get it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Live long and prosper.
Is Lethal a Star Wars or Star Trek fan?
Oh boy. So I've never been much into Star Trek, but I used to be really into Star Wars. Like I was one of those EU freaks. I'm one of those people that think expanded universe.
I know what that is.
Yeah.
I've learned.
Yeah, he knows.
I
Do
did
your
learn.
research for the panel.
That's right. So obviously
Yeah,
we
I
have
should
Lethal
really do
joining
that.
us. Lethal today. Lethal. It's been a little bit since it's been on, but man, I'm glad you're with us. We're gonna put links in the chat so you can find Lethal's channels and everything down below. Yes, Travis. High five.
Oh, I was just focusing my camera.
Maybe this is how we start the show every day. Put hands
It
in
was
the middle,
going in and
everybody.
out.
Hands in the middle. Hands in the middle. Come on, Lethal. All right. Hey, team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. There.
Name.
Oh boy.
Shouldn't we be saying
Yikes.
balls?
Balls on 3. Oh my
If
God.
you insist. I normally only do that for super chats.
Us too. That's good. All right, man. We got a lot going on. Obviously, if you guys are watching us over on Rumble, do us a favor, hit the follow button first and foremost as we inch closer to 3,000 followers. Every little
Go.
follower is great. Why do we love that? Because it's organic. You guys want to be there. You guys are there to watch us do the podcast. You guys will watch us. You're there to do the gameplay stuff and all the other fun stuff we have on the horizon, which is awesome. Hit the thumbs up button, whereas our goal every single show is 300 thumbs up. Once we start consistently hitting that, then we'll hopefully be able to bump it up maybe to 350. Who knows?
Pump it up.
But we can't do it without your help. Greatly appreciate that. Also, we have a Twitter account, SideScroller Pod. You can go find us over there at X and Instagram. Blabs.
Yeah, we actually are really, really close to 450. We might have even hit it before I even looked at it again. But yeah, if you haven't followed us already, you should, because I've been posting memes there. And shout out to Legion of Memers because they make the best memes ever within like 2 seconds. It's just so creative. I love it. So
Okay.
Shout
Yeah.
out.
Hey, give it up to the Legion of Memers. They're the best. They're the best, right, Lethal?
Oh, mate. Yeah, the amount of times they put me in memes that are actually surprisingly accurate to past events is a little concerning, but yes, they are good.
So everyone go support them. Go subscribe to their channel as well.
They like to make me black for some reason. I don't know why.
digital blackface, huh?
Yeah, I support that.
Okay. All right. Speaking of support, you guys need to head over and subscribe to the SideScrollers Plays channel because I'm pretty much after today's show. It's the episode 2 of the Retro Gaming Police, where last week Dan Vask challenged me to beat Castlevania without continuing. I was unable to do that, but I have flipped the script on Dan Vask. And Dan Vask now has been challenged to simply beat the arcade version of Street Fighter 2. That's all he's got to do. And he'll be playing today. And I'll be laughing. And you guys will have an opportunity to help and hurt Dan Baz. So there you go. It's gonna be really, really fun. Looking forward to it. You guys got anything before we get into all the fun stuff today? Because I mean, I got to be honest. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna get into this Eric July lawsuit today. We're gonna talk about TwitchCon maybe if we have time, and Disney Junior. Let's go.
Yeah, well, okay, we'll show Lethal real fast. So boom, we have his Kick. If you're not following him on Kick, give him a follow. What have you been playing, Lethal?
Today I started playing the new Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, and it is really good so far. I'm loving it. I still think Remnant 2, at least so far, is my favorite game of the year, but this has potential to go up there.
Okay, hold on. Do you want to do this right now? Do you want to do a 2-minute review?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. It's usually Adams, but no, it's time for Lethal's Adams 2-minute review. Lethals.
Right, so Fires of Rubicon, Armored Core 6. I was never the biggest Armored Core fan. I played a few of the games growing up as a kid, but this one is, oh man, it is mech power fantasy to the absolute extreme. I've only played for about 3 or so hours, but it's really good. The way you move around, like you feel like a badass mech, like trees and all that. You're just knocking them over as you're going past them. It's made by From Software as well. So it's not really a Souls-like game, but like the first boss is a giant helicopter and it's significantly stronger than you, at least at this first level. And it's a blast of a game. You can customize your mech so much, both visually and performance-wise. You can change the boosters on them, so how they fly, how they move around. You can have 4 different weapons. So you have like your R1 or whatever controller you're using. So basically each button here is for a weapon. So your right arm would be your right trigger, your left arm would be your left trigger. And you can just change your weapons around, your missiles on your back and all that type of stuff. Is that actually me? I think that might actually be, well, no, that's not me. It's just playing very similar. And even like the visual customization, you can do all different paint jobs and you can change the paint gradients. You can do different patterns. And it actually has something that I have not seen since an old school Black Ops game, Call of Duty Black Ops. Custom emblems. You can make it spell anything. You can make it say anything, and you can do anything. Now, I can show you one. That this one's I wouldn't show anything that would get you in trouble, Craig. But this one is safe to share.
All right, you got 30 seconds. 30 seconds
Let's
left.
go.
On.
So this was my mech. I decided to make it look like Ava Unit 2 from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I gave it titties.
Awesome.
I made it said 10-inch gaming. Shout out to the 10-inch gaming, the fuck on gaming community. And down on at its crotch area, I wrote "suck it." And this is the most badass mech in the history of Armored Core 6 so far. This game's incredible. Get it.
Hey, perfect. That was awesome. Way to finish it up right at 2 minutes. Good stuff, man. That was awesome. There's your Armored Core 6 2-minute review. Apparently, it's pretty damn good. Love it. Great job, Lethal.
With titties.
Let's go.
Finally, a good mech game.
Oh, mechs with titties makes it a good mech game. Interesting.
No, I'm just saying there's never been a good mech game in my mind. I've always wanted one because I find the idea wonderful, but
I always loved Carpo. What was that mech game that you actually sat down and there was the full mech like sit? There's the seat where you sit down and it's got a full control panel. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Any idea? No,
I vaguely remember that.
Listen, the G2s will know. Chad will know. Mr. Grant Gregory, my boy, came in with the hashtag roll your dog. Lethal, you mutt argue about a country song. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah. I like to make fun of country singers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that Grant can go in and make you sing a country song after my conversation with him today, man.
He has done it. He's made Lethal sing before.
Yeah, I'm a great singer.
I learned yesterday that I know Japanese, Italian, and German yesterday, which is great. So thanks for that. Our boy Superman, no Green Rocks coming in with the membership for 2 months. Thank you for the shout out to the Legion of Memers. You know it. We can't wait to have you guys on tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute banger of a show. Yeah, I need to get back to Extra Zero about that. I want to do my best to be on the show. Listen, I need to talk to the boss first. And the boss is the wife. We all know that. All right. We need to make sure we have time available tomorrow. Blabs, you'll know. You'll be the boss someday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important. Okay, look. So we got a lot going on today. Lots to talk about. And I can't think of a better way to start our Friday than to get into my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for hard news.
This is hard news.
All right, Call of Duty is a game. It's very popular. Have you guys heard of it before? Well, they're doing all sorts of crossovers. They had Snoop Dogg as a playable character, which, you know, I guess kind of works.
No.
Okay, all right. I listen. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, but you know,
no, don't give it the benefit of the doubt. This rebooted continuity is all supposed to be one continuity, and they're saying that Snoop Dogg was in World War II, fighting Terminators with anime guns, and Godzilla rocked up, and now he's over here in 2022, and he hasn't aged.
Well, listen. Some people will say Snoop Dogg hasn't aged because he does absolutely dye his hair, because there's no way he has jet black hair in the year 2023. When he's
how old is he?
What is he? Probably 60, maybe.
He's gotta be.
I mean, I just have a hard time like with Snoop. Like Snoop Dogg is he was 51. Okay, so it's not that bad, not that bad. But at a certain point, after you've had so much tremendous success, can you really be singing about being a banger or a gang banger? You know, like I don't know. It doesn't really fit. Like at a certain point, aren't you rapping about corporate outings? And
well, how is a snitch rapping about being a gang member? We're just going to forget how he got off that murder trial.
Who's snitch?
Him.
Oh, that's him.
Snoop's a rat.
Oh, okay. I don't know enough about it. Either way, you know what I do want to talk about is how Call of Duty has brought in another famous rapper to further enhance their game. This in the form of, I believe, the singer of Wet Ass. We'll see.
B-word.
Nicki Minaj is now in Call of Duty, which breaks all lore and doesn't make any sense because, you know, whatever. So here's Nicki Minaj running down the street with her pink assault rifle. I guess I don't know. I don't even know what kind of gun that is. But just seeing her run down the street with explosions running around is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. With like, and she's wearing her pink bra, and it's the dumbest thing.
I bet her ass has the highest armor rating in the game.
Well, no, because this game's TTK is like as quick as a wind breeze, so even her fat ass wouldn't slow that down. One of the main complaints with this game.
What is a TTK? What is that?
Time to kill.
Oh, time to kill. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And she has this big bust. You always want to in a war zone. Don't you always want a big, giant, pink vehicle just strolling through downtown?
Oh, yeah. Very inconspicuous.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, she's just avoiding bullets, taking out bad guys. I love that she's over here reloading her guns.
On too.
This is so out of place. Which part of me really loves, and part of me just hates every little bit about this to my core being.
It's so stupid, but this is the Fortnite effect in full effect. There's so much that's wrong with this, but one thing that is overlooked is that when this game dropped, one of the biggest complaints was you're going too much into the simulation route. People want COD to be an arcade style shooter. Mm-hmm. And they just kept saying, no, we're going to keep pushing realism. We're not going to make all these changes to the way the characters move and all this type of stuff because of realism. And now here's your realism. Nicki Minaj running around with Snoop Dogg and Homelander. And there's an actual cat skin as well.
This... I understand Fortnite with the cartoony aesthetic. I mean, I do, right? They're not real deaths, they're eliminations. But Nicki Minaj, fucking Nicki Minaj, that's all. I can't do it. I can't do it. It doesn't make sense to me. But Blabs, are you more likely to go out and buy a Nicki Minaj skin
No, I don't even have Call of Duty installed anymore. I deleted that shit. But I would never get it either because I don't really like pink. So.
But I think that's like, you wouldn't buy a character that is like bright yellow or bright red in these games because those colors pop to the human eye.
Exactly.
Right?
You're just a walking target.
Why would you want to have a bright, like she has bright pink hair, bright pink outfit, armor, I guess. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not going to get into the whole realism aspect of this. It's Call of Duty.
I feel like her boobs would pop out when she's running and diving and everything and shooting, you know, like, whoops.
Look, I'm going to tell you this right now.
Ain't that the point? So that somebody's staring at her boobs or her ass and they miss their shot?
Like, look how bad her face is. That's
this
not
game's
even
aim
good.
assist. Good luck missing.
It's just so
True.
bad.
It's cringe. It's so stupid. There's so
I
much
really
wrong with Call of Duty.
wanted
these
to make a
days.
joke about Nicki Minaj and aim assist. I'm not going.
Well, let me just say this.
I don't get
If
She doesn't
her
need
boobs were to
aim
fall
assist.
out,
Her ass is so big.
Oh.
if there was indeed a nipple slip or some sort of boobs falling out when she dove down, it's added value to the game. I'm just saying, it sounds kind of funny.
I feel like more people would buy it for the extra boobage.
Yeah,
But it's
absolutely.
first person, so you wouldn't even see it.
That's true.
Great point.
Well,
I mean,
everyone else would see it.
I don't
So
care about
maybe
everyone else. I paid it. I
helping
want
out
to
a
see
bro,
it.
Lethal. You wouldn't help out a bro and be like, yeah, look at the tits. Whatever you guys
As long
do.
as they bought it too, because if I don't get to see it, no one else should.
that a boy. There you go. Hey, Big Top came in with the $5 direct donation. Says, "Hey, yo, I still can't get over Blabs laughing when she drowns Sonic."
Hey, I mean, I even said I was sorry to Sonic. Did I not, Craig?
You did apologize to Sonic as you pushed his head
Profusely.
further down into the water. It was like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry to do this to you." It was really morbid. Really.
Fake
Is
news.
there anything more blabs than drowning animals, though?
No, people. I only drown people.
Oh, my mistake.
D-Day
Roll your
Direwolf
dogs.
came in with that membership for a month. Says, "Roll your dogs."
No, it's
Full Aussie reference.
roll your dog.
Okay, sorry. Roll your dog. Is that
Why are
good?
you German?
I was Australian there. Roll your
Oh,
dog.
okay.
We'll work on it.
Okay, sounds great. Anyways, you guys can now go buy your Nicki Minaj skin right now on Call of Duty, and I encourage everyone to do so. So hey, I wanna point this out really quick. I had a G2 reach out to an old friend from back in the old Screw Attack days, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come on SideScrollers?" And they said, more or less, "No, that show is about drama, and that show it doesn't even talk about video games, and all they do is argue and stuff." And to that, I say they clearly have never watched an episode of the show. So I just found that really disappointing. And we're talking about video games now. We talk about video games literally every single day, but this is a gaming and entertainment podcast, because if we talked about video games all day, it'd be really fucking boring. So anyways, I'm disappointed in them for their lack of, I don't know, researching the idea of coming on the show, because they're just parroting what other people have said about it, which those people clearly never watched the show either. So either way. Lord Spleech came in with the $5 super chat. Says, "Nicki Minaj would be better for a Dead or Alive game." Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. 19 minutes in. You're breaking up now.
Was it? Oh, we got there?
Yeah, I'll read it out loud. Bring it back because you got chopped off. Nicki Minaj would be better for a Dead or Alive game. Thank you, Lord Spleech.
Awesome. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Good. Thanks, Lord Speech. Appreciate that. Yeah, I popped out a few minutes ago as well, like 3 minutes ago. Everything got reset. But either way, I don't know what's going on with this. This is crazy. Hopefully,
I
we don't
actually
have
think someone's like messing with you. It's always between like 19 and 30 minutes.
Well, let's Big Grease says, enough of video game talk. Let's hear about y'all's hot takes of the Republican debate.
I didn't even watch it.
Here,
I know nothing.
Here's my hot take. It's all useless and it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
How's that? Whatever you thought about whoever you wanted to think about, you thought of more of them, and those who you didn't like, you think you like them less. How's that? Sounds
Didn't
good.
even watch it.
There you
Didn't
go.
care.
Leo's like, what is that?
Yeah,
and as I am 16-bit says, did they forget that that the OG SideScrollers wasn't entirely gaming? Yes, of course they did. Of course they did. That this show has never been all about gaming. Gaming brings people together, but this is a show about life and our hosts and the things that are happening in life, which brings us to our big story of the day. And we're going to go in really deep on this today. All right. I want to talk about this Erik July situation with Rippaverse. Now, full transparency. I don't know Erik, right? I don't know this guy Vito. I don't know this guy Dick Masterson. I've been on a stream with Erik before. I think I've said hi to him once on a stream, but I've never had any sort of interaction with him. I know people who work for him, but I don't have a dog in this race, right? So what I want to do is I want to look at this situation from literally all sides, what Erik is saying and what these other dudes are saying, and try to be as objective as possible and just lay this out. And let me kind of talk about, and I want to talk about why this is important, because there's a lot of layers to this outside of this guy's being sued over something, which I think is a much bigger issue than just this guy's being sued over things, because lawsuits happen every day, but lawsuits that start this way don't. So we'll kind of start there. Are you guys familiar with this case at all?
No.
I watched the video. I know Ripper. I haven't spoken to him in like a year, but I know him. I don't know who Dick is, but Vito should not be given the benefit of the doubt in any situation ever.
And okay, why?
Well, he's a cuties defender, first of all, and all he does is start shit. All he does is start shit to get attention. That's all he does. He's just an internet bitch. That's the only words for him. They have no life. They're just a bunch of losers. They're just trying to keep a black man down as well, which is despicable in 2023.
Okay.
And I think he's actually jealous as well, because I don't even know what the fuck his comic book's called. What's it called again? Well, I can't even remember.
Erik?
Vito?
No, Vito's.
Yeah,
does
I
he
don't
have
know.
one?
Yeah, Vito has a comic book out.
But it's not actually out,
is
is it? He just sits, instead of actually making it, he just sits around bitching about
like
Ripper.
on Indiegogo or something?
Indiegogo is where you fund it.
Yeah.
But he hasn't made it. He just sits around bitching about other people's instead of making his own, which is, I don't get that. If you're making a comic book, don't worry about what other people are doing. Just focus on yours and make it the best thing you can possibly make it for yourself and your potential customers. And all you're doing is wasting time and effort and honestly mental capacity by worrying about someone else.
Okay.
It makes no sense.
So let's see where this whole thing started here. Now, there's a little bit before this from what I gather, but apparently these dudes, they have a podcast together and they've been really critical of Rippaverse and Erik and pretty much his success that they've seen from having this independent comic called ISOM. Or is that what the comic is called? ISOM, ISOM, right? So yesterday, Erik put out a video on Twitter and on YouTube, and we're going to actually watch this entire thing because I want to watch the entire thing. I want to stop. I want to talk about it. And then I have about 15 tabs open of kind of what everybody's saying and just kind of laying it out there. Like I said, I have no dog in this fight. So I hate to be a fence sitter here, but I really don't know enough about this to have an opinion. I'm going up based off what people are saying. So Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says Vito has a history of concerned trolling. He tried to contact Team YouTube when Nerdrotic had Alex Jones on as a guest.
Yes, he did.
So
he's known to try to get people deplatformed, and he's an internet snitch.
Yeah,
what
I've seen of Vito, all he does is seems like shit on people within like the G&G sphere. That's all I ever see. And I don't know anything about him. I don't even know what he does besides try to make a comic. But all he does is like shit on people.
All right, well let's take a look at this really quick and watch Erik's video here. It's 9.5 minutes long, so I'm going to need y'all's patience as we go through this. We're going to listen to all this. We're going to stop. We're going to talk about it. And then we're going to get into what they're saying back and forth. And like I said, this may have changed since I was opening tabs and looking through stuff. But let's just kind of go through this.
Maybe you've heard of this by now, but this is a thing. Good Shepherd is alleging that we have had unauthorized use of their trademark. Don't worry, I have one of the best legal teams. This is something multi-million-dollar companies deal with all the time. We'll be handling this. Inevitably, my detractors.
I'll say this about Erik. He kind of his MO is the way he's perceived. I don't know if he's like this in real life, but he does have the kind of this smug like attitude to him. Like, we'll be handling this. And I think that's what people like about him. You know, he's confident in his statements, and he says what he's going to do, and then he does, and then he goes out and does it.
If I was making millions of dollars from only 2 comic books, and I'm looking at Batman and Superman being like, I'm coming for you, motherfuckers, I'd be pretty smug too.
So absolutely, absolutely, utterly useless says, don't engage them, Craig. He'll burn you guys. So just to be clear, we're not engaging with anybody. We're just talking about this. And if talking about something is engaging with them, I mean, I don't want to live in the world where you're just talking about something means you absolutely engage them. We're just talking about this story. I have no idea. We're not engaging with anybody.
Because are going to latch onto this as if it's some gotcha. Oh, he slipped up. But now is the time to be serious. Outside of the given context, most of what I'm about to say isn't even aimed at the people that filed the lawsuit. The internet is an interesting place. We make fun of each other, and we can do that. We can make our gripes known, and we can dislike others. This is something that every individual is free to do. But I'd like to think that there's a line that shouldn't be crossed when it comes to initiating conflict. At minimum, one should be prepared to deal with those consequences. I certainly am. This has real world implications, and because livelihoods are potentially impacted, I must take this seriously as the owner of this company. What we have right now is a tech.
That's the thing right there. The fact that it actually is at the stage where it's affecting people's livelihood. This isn't just me going online and typing, oh, your comic sucks, enter. This is actually someone's livelihood getting in trouble. And I'm no legal expert, but hasn't there been cases, and this is extreme, but hasn't there actually been cases where people have gone to jail over copyright? Oh,
sure. Yeah. I mean, there's at the front of any, specifically in the US, if you copy anybody's copyrighted work, if you distribute it, what is it, 5 years in jail and $250,000 fine, something along those lines.
Yeah.
So copyright is a very big deal in the in any creative space.
So it's more than just talking trash online.
Right. Let's continue on here.
Textbook example of gay ops. Not too long ago, there was an act.
Okay, so I didn't know what gay ops is. I have no. Has anybody ever heard this term before?
Yeah, very familiar with the term.
Okay, Travis, Blaz, you ever heard of this term?
No.
Gay ops.
I have heard of the gay mafia before, but not gay ops.
Okay, that's different. That's a little different.
So I found this on Reddit of all things. I searched what are gay ops, and this popped up. It says, well, gay ops is a term used to describe a legal conspiracy where 2 parties or more partake in talks over social media in hopes of slandering, harassing, or doxing, etc. A third party is unaware. Gay ops is considered illegal in many countries, including the US. Does that sound accurate, Lethal?
Yeah. In fact, this whole situation is like, you could put this in the dictionary of what a gay op is.
I'm just wondering where the name gay op comes from. I'm quite amused by it.
I think it came from.
Yeah, it's like an acronym.
Yeah, I think it came. Right. I think it even said on that it came from Ethan Ralph.
I was gonna say, was 2 of the people who originally did it gay? Like,
well, I mean, it's the internet. On the internet we call everything we don't like gay. So it's a gay op.
Yeah.
So
like,
it's a little
Dave Filoni Star Wars is pretty fucking gay.
And it makes me wonder if it's an actual legal term now, because that would amuse me even more to hear a judge say gay ops on the bench, just for my own.
You know what? It probably came from 4chan.
So Elite Neo said, check the Urban Dictionary definition of it. It's way more TLDR.
Oh, no.
So, well, no, I mean, it's okay. I'm checking it right now. It says from Urban Dictionary, it just says a conspiracy executed by people who connect through social media to harass, dox, deplatform, etc., a person or group. So there you go.
Oh, look at the example.
The example.
Yeah. All right, let's go and continue with
helps.
this here real quick. All right, let's see what's going on with this.
I'm amused that gay is like it's like I don't even know how to describe it now, but it's amusing.
Let's go and continue.
Seriously, as the owner of this company, what we have right now is a textbook example of gay ops. Not too long ago, there was an accusation of false flagging, and I'm going to show you an example of fair use. Let's set the scene. There's more than likely some reference to me before, but a fat person by the name of Vito really
get a little personal, there. All right.
Well, I mean, that's fair considering what he's doing.
He's just describing him, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
Fat person by the name of Vito really ramped up his public hatred of me at the launch of the Rippaverse last year. Since then, very frequently, this person has made a point to speak negatively about me and this company. Oddly enough, his friend joined in. Once I publicly rejected the opinions that were masked as a review of ISOM #1, he ramped up his public down talking. He can word it as if I'm the one tripping at the criticism, but having his opinion be dissected and then be discarded may have hurt his feelings.
So I do want to point out that any review is based off opinion. So, I mean, that is something to, really that needs to be considered. And any review is based off of opinion, based off of your personal thoughts. That's why people like to watch or read reviewer X's reviews, because they identify with the way that person relates their thoughts and feelings towards them. You see that with anything. So
yes, but that's true. Go ahead.
I'd say that's true, but I'm just keeping it in the context of comic books. There is such thing as like objective criticism. Like if all the coloring is outside the lines, I would say that's pretty shitty artwork.
Right.
I see it this way. If it's the way you say it, right? So you can speak your opinion if you state it as your opinion, but when you state it as a fact, it becomes slander and libel.
Well, I think in a review setting, that's not necessarily slander and libel don't really apply in a review setting unless
slander.
I think it's about how you say it. I mean, you could say that about the news. It doesn't apply in a news setting because they're just talking about the news. But you could sue a newscaster if they state something slanderous and liable as fact.
So Left Cross says, yeah, but their opinion was objectively wrong, getting plot points wrong, etc.
Oh,
right.
there you go. Yeah, I would say that's objective. If you tell me the plot to Star Wars is about a dude with a scar on his face that discovers he's a wizard and his family was killed by a dude with no nose, I would say you're objectively wrong about what the plot of that movie is.
Right. Let's go continue.
It's not like I like it that way, but that's just the law. That's what the law is. And you can't hide behind a moniker of news or review. That's been established by the law.
Man, people.
I know you want to move on, but just one question on that. Is it slanderous if I say something like, okay, just for example, if I say this dude is a shitty artist, I don't know how he got this job. Is that slanderous?
I think art is subjective.
He can't color in the lines.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a subjective thing where you determine if his art is shitty or not. But if you say something like, I think he stole his art from somebody, it looks like he ripped this off from somebody, you're making a definitive statement that, well, I wouldn't say I think. If you say he stole this, not I think. It's the I think statements that are okay and not the he did this statements that are okay.
Right. It's kind of like if you were to say, I think that Joe Smith is a shitty comic book artist. I don't know why. That's an opinion. You can have that opinion. At least in America, you can, right? With your freedom of speech. But if I said Joe Smith likes to diddle kids because he is a bad comic book artist, right? With no proof, and that's something that is defamatory, that there's a big difference in that. If I say that with no proof to back it up, and that's not like an opinion, right? That's saying that this person is doing something without any fact. So
I guess it's a thin line because this could be considered subjective too. You know what I mean? It would be up to a judge. I don't know,
Nicki came in and says, for slander, you have to prove a loss financially in a legal context, right?
No,
Right.
you have to prove that you're, well, I guess kind of right to an extent. So you have to prove that your reputation was damaged as well, because then you could lose future work because of your reputation being damaged.
Well,
you don't have to prove that you lost work. You just had to prove that you damaged my reputation.
What's the difference between slander and defamation?
Bingo. All right. There's a big difference in Travis.
Or libel.
Go look those up. Go look at the difference between defamation and slander. Let's continue on here.
Since then, I've had several other things, very interesting things that have been levied at me, and we've collected the receipts on those. Can't give you everything, but this is how the internet works. So talking noise isn't a problem. There are drama farmers out there. They need to conjure up things. Some may consider it to be admirable that they have to talk about me to get the most engagement. But what happened out of this is what you'll take exception to. You may be thinking, why would something like this happen now? We are 2 books in and a full year removed from the launch of the Rippaverse. This may have something to do.
What's that?
That's why this whole thing's bullshit. If this actually was a legal problem, wouldn't it hit him day one?
Well, it takes a while, depending where you live.
Well, considering it made like $1 million in less than a week, I'm pretty sure it would have got their attention.
Right, but you have to serve somebody. So I could just stay away from cops. If I got enough money, you can't serve me because a police officer has to serve me to get me to court.
Well, but his location is very well known. All of his warehouse space and all that stuff. You can, if you're going to serve a business and they have their address online, that's easy to find. So
I do have the difference. Slander and libel are forms of defamation, which is an untrue statement presented as fact and intended to damage a person's character or reputation. Libel is a defamatory statement made in writing, while slander is defamatory statements that are spoken. To be defamatory, well, here, this is the important part. It's important to note the difference between opinion and defamation. Statements that cannot be objectively proven true or false, such as "I think Bill is a jerk," are considered opinion and thus are not defamatory. However, to say "I think Bill embezzles money from work," while an opinion implies a fact that could be injurious to Bill's reputation, even if false, because some people could believe it. This is why news outlets commonly use the word allegedly when reporting on crimes, because they could be sued.
Right. So if you guys are just popping in, we're taking a look at this this lawsuit that's been filed against Eric July and Rippaverse. I don't know if it's been filed against Eric July, but it's been filed against Rippaverse. But Eric July is the the owner of this company. We're just going to look at it kind of case by everybody's perspective. Just we have no, or at least I don't. I have no dog in this race. So we're just going to look at this and kind of talk about it as it goes through. So if you guys are new, hit the subscribe button. We'd love for you guys to join us on a day-to-day basis. We're here Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central Time. Let's go.
I will say this, just stating somebody stole or used your logo, that's stating it as a fact. He should have took them to court if he believed that, and then at the end of the case the judge would have said if it was true or false, and then he could make that statement, they used my logo, if he won.
Let's go to continue.
Do with it. In this lawsuit, they allege July Ripper's accusations have caused actual confusion. An example of that actual confusion is shown in the following highlighted copy of an unsolicited email from a third party in which the sender specifically mentions the identity of the trademark ISOM and the cross on the hero's belt.
Okay, real quick. Notice the date on this, by the way. August 3rd, 2023. I'm sorry, August 8th. Yeah, thank you. That's that's 2.5 weeks ago. So apparently, this church had no idea that this existed until 2 weeks ago, and you were talking about sending out some sort of legal notice. I mean, it took less than 2 weeks for them to act on it. So that's just based off of this initial email.
ISOM and the cross on the hero's belt. They then show this email from some guy named Obtuse Gnome that was apparently sent to them. In it, a guy claims that he is a journalist by the name of Roy. He concern trolls pretending like he is doing a story of our success. After acting as if he loves to see this, he states, I would be curious to know when the decision was made to make a comic book character using the same name as the International School of Ministry. Has Mr. July received any funding to aid him in the creation of superhero ISOM? Info on the choice to have ISOM have an image of a cross on his belt. What we can hope to see with continuation of ISOM on his journey.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is even relevant because as a church, that's a faith-based thing, meaning like you're exempt from like federal law and stuff on certain things. So like I don't even know if they could sue him. I don't know how that works, but it's an interesting question to bring up.
Well,
because, I mean, all Christians use the cross as the symbol of their faith. So like what like who stole it from whom? Who can claim it?
Okay, so I don't think it's about the cross. It's not about the cross, but the cross is implied as to help push the idea that this is a, the idea is ISOM, the acronym for International School of Ministry.
Still,
ISOM
it's a faith-based thing.
Right, but churches still own copyright. So, but you see what's happening in this email where it's like, hey, look at how great this is. By the way, and they're just kind of fishing right here. It's like they're just kind of it's kind of like kind of like placing the shit on the doorstep and lighting it on fire and waiting for the guy to come out and put it out with his boots, Ted, like in Billy Madison. That's kind of what this guy's doing here,
J-op.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out if there is, because if they don't pay for certain things like their copyrights or whatever because they're faith-based and they get a tax exemption for it, then is it fair to say they could sue somebody? I don't know. I don't think so in my mind, but hey.
Well, the thing about it is, and this is a legit question. I don't know. Is the International School of Ministry, is it a business? Is it actually a business?
And is it a business here in America and not just international?
So they do have, they are based in California, and I had them pulled up, and they do have a .org, which usually .orgs, you hear that for like faith-based businesses and such. But I'd be curious if this is a business or an actual faith, is because there are faith-based businesses. Now keep that in mind, right? There's a big difference.
They're held to a different standard than like churches, and you know what I'm saying.
Let's go and continue here.
To rescue Jasmine from prostitution, and if you could, the amazing choice to offer the buyers the option to donate a copy of ISOM #2. He then says, I thank you so much extending your trademark name in such a unique way and the creation of a new superhero. It is apparent that this person knew what they were doing. They were attempting to encourage a baseless lawsuit. But look again at the beginning and the end of this email. This person claims they were journalists for TDS News and TPBITU. Those obviously stand for the show of the two individuals, the Dick Show and the biggest problem in the universe. So is there actually a connection between the two individuals and this person that sent this email? Well, let's discuss. This person goes by the name Obtuse Gnome in their email. There happened to be a Twitter account under that same exact name that is since
Pause this for a second. Com has a good point. I'm going to sue you as a legal threat. You should send a cease and desist. That's something completely different than saying I'm going to sue you in writing. That could be, considered a threat in and of itself.
Lord knows what. This account used to tweet constantly at me and about me, and he only popped up after these two individuals kicked off their hatred of me. Here's an old screenshot from when the account was active. A new account has popped up under a similar name, profile picture, and what do you know? Look who the first three accounts are that this person followed. Surely it's just a coincidence, right?
So he's implying that it's either him or those two guys or just kind of an unhinged fan.
Or it could be somebody who works for him, an intern.
Could be. I think they say they don't have any employees. So maybe they do, maybe they don't.
An intern's not an employee.
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. And it could very much be could be
somebody's wife or cousin or kid or
could be. Let's go to continue.
It gets worse. Back in July, we announced that we would be working with Comic Books for Kids, an organization that has tasked itself with getting comics to kids in need. As to be expected, these two attempted to delegitimize our efforts and made some very bold accusations that we have receipts on.
So real quick, this is pointed out by Starscream here. And he says on Rumble, he says, that's what's weird to me. No cease and desist, which usually precedes a copyright infringement lawsuit, right? And Starscream is 100% right. That's usually the first thing that you see in any sort before legal action is you need to either take this down or we're going to sue you. But here they just skipped all that.
I kind of got a theory about that.
Okay.
I think they wanted to get into an argument with him, a public argument with him about it to get him
Just
to
stir up
say,
shit.
well, and to get him to say something that could then be used against him in this said lawsuit. So if we make an argument and he misspeaks one word, that could be his downfall in a legal sense.
I'll say
I
this.
think it's a lot more simple than that. It's just a loser online that has nothing else to do, that's jealous and just trying to stir up shit and is a big fan / supporter of Vito and that other fuckwit.
So what's interesting is this is a 9.5-minute video, and this is presented as Erik talking to the audience about what's happening. But if you don't think that every single word of this video was looked over with a fine-tooth comb by a lawyer before it was put out,
By 3 lawyers.
yeah, for sure. I mean,
A PR person.
he had somebody go through this, and this video initially was probably 15 minutes long. They're like, no, you can't say this implies this. So that's just something to keep in mind. Like this is part of the legal process. What he's putting out here right now is part of the legal process. When or if they actually go to to court, there's allegations that are being implied in this video that I think can be used, in law, but I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, and I think that
interesting, in my opinion, how you say like a lawyer went through this, and you're absolutely correct. But I also love the fact that like at least one lawyer went over this and was like, "You can leave the word fat in there."
Yeah, right.
Well, and that's subjective as well. So I mean, it's not a legal claim. He can call him fat all day long.
Yeah.
It may be an insult, but it's not like legally approvable thing.
Yep. And by the way, Blyce over on Rumble says a cease and desist is not necessary prior to a lawsuit. This is true.
No,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Not. But when you're sending somebody a threat saying I'm going to sue you, have fun, you might want to send them a cease and desist.
Right. But it's just that's the traditional first step. You're right. It's not necessary. There's no like protocol, but that's generally how it works. And it just seems like a quick decision. Be like, oh, 2 weeks later, let's file a lawsuit. Let's continue though.
Isn't it usually the people who don't have the money to actually pay for a lawyer to file the lawsuit, the people who say, I'm going to sue you?
I don't know. I think it's case by case.
They just sue you usually.
Maybe. I think it's kind of case by case, but let's continue here. We're just halfway through this video. There's so much more here because I want to hear, is it Vito and Nick, or what's their name? Dick and Vito. I want to hear their perspective on this too. So let's go ahead and continue.
In this tweet right here, Vito claims we asked the charity if they need more comics. In that tweet, he shows an email from Mark, who is the owner of Comic Books for Kids. Sharing this may have been a critical error because we were able to obtain the entire email chain. In the original email, you see that Vito tried to block out the name. The original contact is from the same email from a guy by the same name. Yeah.
By the way, let's take a look here. Email, name, phone number, 5555555. Like clearly doesn't actually want to put their real information out there, right? That's the old movie trick of there's no 555 email or 555 phone number. So, just kind of putting it out there. We'll put out just enough information for the paper trail, but
the same email from a guy by the same name. Yet again, concern trolling, this time acting as if he is so concerned about Comic Books for Kids being scammed. Here's the original email. Without the name being blacked out, you see Mark refers to him as Roy. Again, what we have here is Vito himself using the term we, which would suggest he's included with this specific contact. Never mind if this could be interference, just how involved are they in this? Well, here they are on the show referring to contacting comic books for kids.
So we contacted that charity. So this is the final email that I got.
So we have a tweet where he uses this email, seemingly pointing to an example of we being in contact with the charity. And on video, it looks as if he does something similar. Remember, this is all a concern troll, and one can question if they care about this charity at all. They did down talk them as well.
Comic books.
Is there
for
enough
kids.
backstory for comic books for kids?
Okay.
Yeah. And at first I thought maybe I shouldn't talk about this because I don't want to fuck up that guy's deal. The comic book charity guys.
Sure.
Yeah, but then I thought, fuck it.
This is a bad charity, first of all.
And this is where I said, well, I probably shouldn't say this kind of stuff because it'll fuck up this guy's deal. But again,
It's already happened.
fuck it.
Perhaps screaming false.
Kind of. I mean, obviously, you can take things out of context, but
They're obnoxious.
Can you replay that last 10 seconds so we can hear his wording again?
sure. Sorry. I'll get back to before that just so you can hear.
Wonderful laughing. Yeah.
Here we go.
Hey, at least they're having a good time, right?
Comic
Is
books
there
for
enough
kids.
backstory for comic books for kids?
Okay.
Yeah. And at first I thought maybe I shouldn't talk about this because I don't want to fuck up that guy's deal. The comic book charity guys.
Sure.
Yeah, but then I thought, fuck it.
I mean,
This is a bad charity, first of all.
Isn't that kind of admitting that what you were doing was going out of the way to ruin his
Yeah, to fuck with
His-
someone.
charity interaction with them? And I would
Mhm.
say business, but it's a charity thing. But didn't he just state he did that?
Well, it's funny. Com says Eric conveniently edited that clip so you don't know what Masterston explained. What
Right,
I guess
right.
that was illegal for the charity.
And I don't know. I'm not a lawyer or a paralegal. I'm just asking you the question. I'm not making a statement on it. I'm asking.
I'm no lawyer or legal expert, but I can tell you both these people are fuckwits and they should not be given the benefit of the doubt. Well, at least Vito, I don't know about the other guy, but at least Vito has a very bad track record that is easy to see when it comes to false flagging and just making shit up, trying to get other people in trouble and going out of his way to get as many people in trouble as possible because he's just, I don't know what his problem is. I don't know what happened to him. I don't really care, to be honest with you, but
Right.
he's got problems and all it's doing is affecting him from working on his own stuff. Instead, he's just too concerned with everyone else. He's completely lost the ability to just ignore.
Well, it goes back to what we said before. I don't, like I said, I don't know who either of these guys are. I couldn't recognize them in a room, right? They just look
It also makes sense he'd remove that part though, because if you think about it, what is he going to sit there on his video addressing his side and watch 12 minutes of them talking to each other about the stuff? You know what I mean? Come on.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not like he's like, well, they make a fair point here. Of course, he's not going to do that. It's his perspective, and this goes back to there's always this perspective, there's always this perspective, and the truth is somewhere in the middle, right?
Right. And I think he's making the assumption that somebody watching this already knows the other side, and that's a pretty good assumption.
All right, let's go and continue here.
Well, and this is where I said, well, I probably shouldn't say this kind of stuff because it'll fuck up this guy's deal. But again,
It's already happened.
fuck it.
Perhaps screaming false flagger turns a lie into truth or something, or makes one feel justified in their questionable behavior. If you think that this was in response to those nonsensical allegations against me in early August, well, look at the timestamp. The claims that were in reference to the charity were made a full month before that. These claims could have been an attempt to get myself or the company in trouble with the state, and I didn't initiate that. What does false flagger even mean in this context? Here we see one of them saying, I am on a false flagging spree because this account that was suspended, but the suspended account doxed one of our warehouse addresses and a personal home address. Apparently that is...
Isn't that illegal?
Doxing?
No. To false flag people on things, to flag things, knowing that there's nothing wrong with them, to get their
You can do that on Twitter for like 1 million different accounts, can't you? That's
Right,
what
but
gets
what-
you
he-
gets
right, but
accounts in
that's-
trouble.
I disagree because when you do that on Twitter, you say, I believe this. But he's literally saying, I'm doing it knowing it's not true.
I mean, how do you prove it besides him saying it?
He
right?
just said it. He just admitted it.
Be lying, like, oh, I said this, but I didn't actually believe
it. He just admitted it on the video and in the tweet. So I don't know what to tell you. If he admitted that he was false flagging people, meaning doing it with an ulterior motive, knowing it's untrue.
Who?
I don't know.
How many people do that on Twitter?
Whoever made the tweet. Go back.
Trav,
I think it was Dick.
Trav, when you say he, who are you talking about?
I think it was Dick or whoever made the tweet, or Vito, one of the two.
Okay. So you're saying that not Erik, but the other guys were false flagging. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Then they admitted to it in the tweet. He said, "I'm going on a false flagging spree."
Travis is asking if that's legal, and I think it is because, like, how many accounts do that every day, just trying to take down big accounts all the time because they disagree with what they say.
Right, but they don't then admit, "Hey, I did this to hurt you."
Well, lots of people do it. Lots of people say,
lots of people do
I'm doing this to fuck with you. And
I don't know. You may be right, but I certainly there's liability to be sued there. It may be not illegal, but there's certainly some.
I mean,
liability.
How do you prove it though?
He admitted it.
No, besides the point.
I don't know. What you don't need any other evidence besides his admission of guilt.
As Magnificent Devil says, there's no law against lying. This is true. This is true.
There is a law against lying and hurting somebody's
but
income.
They're not on oath. They're just in the video.
No, that's exactly what libel is. Lying purposefully. That's what lying is.
Everyone's a liar on Twitter.
But that's what libel is. Purposefully lying to hurt somebody's income or reputation. We just read the definition. He's literally admitting to do that if that false flag was this report.
Let's go to continue.
I don't know how more simple it could be.
Addresses and a personal home address. Apparently, that is false flagging. Could it be that someone is working overtime to attempt to ruin my life and what I've built? I mean, this was said in that video.
I'm an asshole for fun. I like it. If I can say I'm doing it for kids, it's just a socially acceptable way for me to act like a psychopath.
Yeah.
See? So this is a big opportunity for me to be cruel to people.
That's his secondary admission. He admitted it's really twice now. Sorry. Go ahead.
Important that
it's called motivation.
How expensive this is going to be, that's the golden question. So now the rules for the playing field have been set, and I'm the responding agency. Parties have shown that they have no problem either using the state against us themselves or running op campaigns to maybe push someone else to do it for them. This impacts not only myself, but the dozens of other employees and contractors that work for our company. Now, we sniffed this out a long time ago, but if we didn't, the ramifications could be very serious. We're talking things that destroy livelihoods and imprison people. Now, of course, there are some people hoping like hell that something like that would happen to myself as they start from hating me and then work backwards. But this is a step above just simple internet trolling or jokes. No longer am I playing around. Again, receipts have been collected, so deleting your posts, videos, and such won't do you any good.
I'll say this, man. As he's talking about, they kind of been sniffing this out for a while, and they saw this. The idea that they've been, I'm guessing, taking screenshots of social media posts over the last, however long it's been, 6 months, 3 months, month, whatever it's been, since this has been going on. I mean, that's obviously incredibly smart and incredibly fortunate that they've been doing that leading up to this to, build a case if they felt that this was coming or some sort of campaign against them was on the way, just to have those receipts. That's a lot of foresight. Something that, you see people, say crap about, I say you just in general, just any celebrity, anybody online every day. Could you imagine if every time somebody talks shit about company A, whatever, and they decided to take a screenshot of it, so the next time it was deleted? I mean, it's just crazy to think about. So
I do think, in reference to what Blab said, besides his admission, I think filing the lawsuit after the admission is proof of it in and of itself. I think a judge would agree with that.
Is there a step before the lawsuit, though?
Oh, well, he did send him the legal threatening letter.
Well, I think that, prior to the lawsuit, you probably want to get together and you can either settle it or you can go to court.
Yeah, there'll probably be an arbitration and all that shit, and they'll have to get on the record and make their under oath statement and all that jazz.
Let's go ahead and continue here. It's only 20 seconds left. Then we're going to get into what the other side is saying, which I think is important to hear. I want to hear everybody's perspective here.
Just understand that we will be acting accordingly. It's what you wanted after all. We don't need to run a crowdfunding campaign quite yet. You know where to find us and how to support us. We know you will keep rocking with me and the people that depend on what it is that we've built. Until then, about this specific thing, I'll be moving in silence. We ain't going anywhere.
Okay, so there's the video from Erik. Now, once again, it's important to kind of I always feel it's important to see all sides of things, and like I said, it's important. So let's go down the line and just kind of look at some of these tweets that have been put out by both Erik and Vito and Dick, the two different parties here. And it is worth saying, Blabs, you said Erik put out a tweet that he's not going to be on anybody's podcast or talk about
YouTube, under his community page, that he wouldn't be going and doing interviews and talking about it.
Right.
Good.
Which
That's
is a smart move.
Yeah, he said a statement, and I will say this: there's been a lot said mainly from after Erik's statement. It's been a lot said from this Vito guy's side and Dick's side. Again, I don't know these guys, so it's weird calling them by their first name. But a lot's been said there, which I'm going to say probably hasn't gone through the colander of legalese, making sure that it's that this is supposed to be said or not, which will be very, very interesting. I do want to read a few super chats and donations as Sal came in. Sal, thank you very much. Says Erik will win the lawsuit against the church. However, if he goes after the Dick and Vito, it'll be a lot harder to win, only because they live in California while Erik lives in Texas. So many legal problems.
I was just going to ask where this state was, where he sued him at, because that makes a huge difference.
It says Nick Ricada broke it down on his stream last night. Okay, thank you, Sal. Appreciate that. And Sal also came in with the two. It says Vito also lied that Drunk 3PO scammed the same charity with his book. These people shown that they can't be trusted. Thank you, Sal.
Yes, exactly. I'm no legal expert, but Vito's a piece of shit.
Do you guys think, and I don't know this, and it's not a statement by me, but do you think that it belittles the charity's character to now have two instances where they said, well, you're being taken advantage of? Like this charity somehow would let themselves be taken advantage by multiple people? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it doesn't look good for anyone to be accused of any of this stuff.
Right. They wouldn't do their due diligence and hold people to account for what they say they're, because it's a legal obligation what you say out loud or in writing in public that you're going to donate something to charity. That's a legal obligation.
Right. Well, I think that, okay, that's tough because we just saw in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp documentary, she said she had pledged to donate her. I don't know if you guys watched that yet or not, but there was a big sticking point in that documentary was Amber Heard said she initially said she had donated her severance, her divorce settlement with Johnny Depp to a couple charities. And when she was pressed in the court of law, she says, yes, I have pledged to donate this. And he said, and they go, no, that's not what I said. Have you donated? Yes, I have pledged to donate this. No, you're not listening. The question is, have you donated to these charities? Yes, I have pledged to the pledging, and she ends up saying, well, pledging and donating, I use those in synonymous terms. And it's like, no. Pledging is an inaction, and actually donating is an action, right? Mm-hmm. There's a big difference between the two, right? And that actually kind of put egg on her face in the trial. So, but
I think her lawyer probably told her, do not answer that question. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. But
whatever way you can, don't fucking answer.
As it comes to this in particular, I don't think when accepting charity from somebody, I've never ran a charity, I don't know, but I would guess that it's not necessarily the charity's job to vet every source that their contributions come from. Or maybe it is. I don't know.
I disagree. Nowadays, if you take something from somebody who's bad or been labeled as something, your whole charity can go the way of the dinosaur.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Snow came in, says, I know DSP has something to do with this, Pig Ups. I don't think that's accurate, Snow, but thank you.
I have a Rumble rant on Rumble from Abomination for $2. It says, Blab stole Lethal's Pez dispenser in an effort to cause the Australian goddess of sweets to fireball the entire continent and cause the extinction of emus. True stories, no lies or slander.
Abomination,
Thank
sounds
you.
like you got a lawsuit coming your way.
Yeah. My Pez dispenser.
Snow yourself says it was all DSP's fault. Pickups, Blab's looking cute. Hey, congratulations, Blabs.
Thanks, man.
I will say something that rubbed me the wrong way at the start of that video. I don't like when anybody makes that we have enough money, we have more lawyers type of statement, so we'll be good. Like, if you have the money and have the lawyers, good, just do that. You don't need to make that statement.
Let's go ahead and see the other perspective on this. These are all tweets from, we're going to go through Vito first, and we're just going to go through this in order that I have. He says, if a certain, and I hate when people do this, if a certain content creator, just everybody knows who you're talking about, just say it, wants to damage my reputation with slanderous claims, I have every legal right to fight back. I know the truth, and I know I'll be 100% vindicated.
Isn't this the
and why is there hidden replies? Straight away, hidden replies.
And isn't this like the slandery calling the slandery slanderous? I don't like.
Well, his replies are not hidden, by the way. That
yes,
you can.
Yes, they are. No. If you scroll up, there's that little thing right there on his original tweet.
Oh, this right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's it? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So he hid them.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
The plot thickens.
Okay, I didn't know that you could do that. That's crazy. All right, nice.
Yeah, it's basically admitting you're guilty on Twitter.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know you could do that. I thought you meant like closing the replies. I apologize. Followed up with says the claim that I helped coordinate a gay op against Erik July is 100% bogus. The truth is that a very stupid individual decided to send out emails pretending to be a journalist working for my podcast. I have zero control how other people conduct themselves online.
Every time you say gay op, I just imagine a whole bunch of gay people running through the forest with rainbow colored guns and like rainbow clothes, just like going to gay op somebody. I don't know.
Hey,
someone said it was a play on psyops.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Hey, Jay, Drunk 3PO is in the chat. Jay, do you want to come on really quick to kind of you've had experience with these people? Like I said, I have no idea who these people are, right? And it is important. I just say, let's see. So this is a post from Vito here. It says, as expected, every dumb fuck YouTuber is simply swallowing Erik July's lies about me. I may genuinely need to fire back. There's a coordinated effort to destroy my brand based on something a completely unrelated third party did.
Well, he's still making it out to be like it's something dude started. No, you guys started it, so you can't be like a bastion. Like, oh my god, he said something about you started it.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it. So he's saying, well, this is what I think is interesting is this is a coordinated effort to destroy my brand based on something a completely unrelated thing. Now, I don't think there's anything coordinated about this, right? I think that what happened, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but we're kind of we have friends that are in this space that work with Erik and know him personally. I think what this is Erik knowing people and these people having Erik's back based off of the video that he put out. I don't think there's anything coordinated about this personally, but I could be wrong.
It's been established that you don't need to have a conversation to have collusion. People can collude just because they know each other. You don't need to talk about it to collude with somebody.
You can also look at the other side and say these two are idiots.
True. Well, and they are colluding as well. Well, and that's what I was talking about. Those two and whoever sent the email or the flag or whatever, they could be colluding just because they don't like him. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a conversation. It can be a conspiracy without the conversation.
So here's Vito's statement. It says Erik has rejected my attempt to assist him.
Vito's in the chat.
Oh, Vito is?
Yep, on YouTube. I have zero control over what some dumb fan on the show tries to email.
Okay. Vito, you want to come on and talk about this?
Right. And
like I said, I don't know you. I have no idea who you are. We're just talking about this. So if you want to talk about it and give your perspective, that's fine. I'm going to read your statement here. But if you want to come in, man, we'll gladly get you the link, because I said I don't know enough about this. We'll gladly hear your perspective on it, and we'll gladly have Erik on as well. But I don't know anything about this, man. Chris says, seriously, guys, don't platform him. Well, I mean, I think that's tough, because like it's one of those things where if somebody wants to state their case, especially when it comes to something like this, I think it's important.
Especially when it's not like we're getting him on to talk about everything under the sun. We're getting him on to talk about this. You know?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. The chat's saying a big no on this, but we'll just read this. We'll just read this and we'll kind of go from there. His statement says, so apparently he did reach out to say, let me help you. And Erik's like, nah, we're good. To whom it may concern, TBP, I guess the podcast is an acronym for the biggest problem in the universe, a comedy podcast found at thebiggestproblem.show. I am a host of this podcast. It has come to my attention that an individual using the email obtusegnome@gmail.com and identifying as Roy Gerbil, I'm guessing Gerbil maybe, is claiming to be acting as a senior reporter for TDS, a subsidiary of these shows. Our podcast employs no reporters. This individual is acting entirely on his own accord and without any direction from myself or the podcast. I do not know the identity of this individual. If you have been sent an email from this individual claiming that they are an official representative or employee of the podcast, they are lying to you. I urge you to review any emails you have received from this individual and consider that they are likely acting in bad faith. So that is his official statement right there. So,
I agree with Com. I don't think we should live in an echo chamber. Even if our community disagrees with him, I think we should ask him about it. But that's my opinion.
All right.
So we can listen to more bullshit.
So,
well, I mean, we're reading his stuff regardless. So if it's your opinion that's bullshit, we're reading it regardless. It's still bullshit,
Yeah. Now we can get it from the source.
Snow came back, says, Travis, I agree. I hate when people say I got enough yada yada and then just do it. I love Rippaverse, but he is so annoying when he flexes how much he sells or trashes everyone. Like that, dude, that's so petty. Thanks, Snow. Appreciate that. Like I said, I got no dog in this fight, man. I guess this is a clip yesterday from the Dick Guy show, the Dick Guy show, I guess. Let's see what he has to say here. This is kind of his statement on things.
Erik is saying this. I'm going to pretend that he's this stupid because I always assume people are being stupid instead of evil because, there's just no limit to how dumb people can be. So I'll assume he's this stupid and actually thinks this, but then he's got all of his friends on Twitter repeating the same thing. And I don't think they're either stupid or liars. I think they're just saying it because all of these comic books fucks all feel the need to compulsively defend each other, to have access to each other's audience of pay pigs. And you can see it now. You can see all the same guys.
I'll say this, the pay pigs thing is, he's speaking real derogatory about their audience, right? And that I don't think you should really go off and start insulting people's audiences. You're these idiots for watching you. People find a connection to other people for different reasons, and I don't really think that's fair. But that's just me.
People hate watch people too. So
of course.
And you can see it now. You can see all the same guys spreading this preposterous lie or absurdity that Vito and I tricked this trademark law firm into suing Erik July. You can see them repeating it and parroting it.
And I think this goes back to one of the ideas of what we talked about is Erik has a bunch of friends. They saw their friends in trouble. their friend said, this is what happened. And they said, nah, fuck that. Right. And they're going to have his back, you know?
I think that happened on both sides. I think the reverse happened on that side because they just didn't like the guy. You know what I mean? You don't have to be friends to do the same thing, like I said, and have a conspiracy, and you don't even have to talk about it.
You also don't have to be friends to go, wait a minute, one side has a track record that is usually filled with bullshit. So why is it the truth now?
I mean, that's a good point. I guess that's what people have to decide, whether or not they believe one side or the other. You know, I don't necessarily, I don't know these people and I don't know their past. You know, I'm just stating my opinion on what I see now, you know.
These are good questions to ask. Lethal, do you want to ask Vito these questions live?
Bring him on. Sure, fine. It's your show.
It's up to you, Lethal. No, but no, I'm asking you. Do you feel comfortable? No, but I'm asking you.
Good.
Yeah, you're our guest, man.
It's all good.
I mean, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable at all. I mean, like I said, I mean, we're here just talking about this thing. Okay, cool. Travis says, I'm gonna in the private chat says I'm gonna take a Xanax. I love it. Man, so you know, I'll tell you what, I think we should ask. Man, I don't know, man. This is tough. Blaz, what do you think?
I'm gonna say no on this one.
Well, we could always have him on a different day if he wants to come and talk about it.
Hutzel says, "Don't, you're feeding into the drama again," and that's once again. Yeah. I don't want to go down that bullshit path.
Saying no.
Okay,
I'm pulling you out.
I don't want to go down that bullshit path. What I do want to do is talk about this fairly, as best we possibly can. Right? It's what we're trying to do. So. You know what? Ultimately, the chat decides. That's my thought on this. You know, I think let's ask the chat. If the chat wants, yeah, let's ask a poll. You know, and there you go. Ask the chat. You guys are the boss, right? I don't want to dig into drama, but I do want to hear people's perspectives.
And right? Vito's saying no chance to defend my side. We are reading your statements just like we read the other side's statements.
Eric's not here to defend his statements.
I mean, hey, just take that with a grain of salt, you know.
Right. And once again, dude, I don't know who you are. I'm not dumping on you. I have no idea. I really don't care. We're just talking about this, man. I do want to talk about the larger issue behind this. So, you know, Alex says gaming podcast, folks. It's an entertainment podcast too, my man. And you need to understand that there are larger implications here attached to this. This is internet,
for gaming.
Gaming and entertainment. It's crazy.
Right.
Let's go ahead and continue this as you guys go ahead and vote in the chat. Once again, I think that's the wonderful thing about Side Scrollers is that we try to hear all perspectives on things, right? Ultimately, you guys will decide. You know, I think it's interesting. So let's go ahead and continue on here, though.
Like a little tribe. It's fucking retarded. It's absolutely fucking retarded. The fans who are doing it, I get because they're like the ones who are doing it are just dumber than dirt, and that's fine. They're just shit posting online. Who gives a shit? But the people who are actually streamers accepting this lie and promoting this lie that Vito and I are gay-opping a established trademark company over what is clearly a valid trademark claim is despicable because it's so fucking dumb and craven. Whatever.
So his message here is more or less the same thing that was said by Vito here. Is like, look, you know, we don't have control over what a third party does. So that's kind of where it's at. Let's take a look at the poll real quick. It's very close, by the way. It's like almost 50-50, 52% to 48% right now. No has it. So let's continue on. If you guys vote in the chat, I mean, like I said, I don't do drama, y'all. I just ask questions, and that's kind of where we're at. So let's go and continue here. This is another post from Vito. It says, man, I might genuinely end up suing people. I hate lawsuits, but I think they're going to attack my character, my brand without any actual evidence. I think I actually deserve some compensation. Okay, so here's the thinking about the lawsuit side of things. And then we have this one from Dick. Says this is Yellow Flash in response to the video from Erik. Said Yellow Flash says this goes beyond trolling. Dick and Vito are actively trying to screw with Erik's business and income. Disgusting and low behavior. Get F, Yellow Flash. Vito and I didn't do shit. This is from Dick. Get fucked, Yellow Flash. Vito and I didn't do shit. If Erik didn't want a bunch of autistic, I'm guessing. Autist, what? Fucking with them. He shouldn't have false flagged their accounts. Simple as. Okay. Aaron came in, says, sunlight is the best disinfectant, I reckon. It's kind of how I feel about it too. But like I said, well, whatever. Then there's this from Dick as well. It says the guy says in the first sentence, I'm an independent journalist, meaning he's not pretending to work for those shows. But I guess that doesn't let anyone whip up a mob against Vito. I don't think that's an argument at all. I think there's tons of independent journalists who there are tons of independent journalists who work for multiple outlets. That say they're independent journalists that are not exactly tied to a specific outlet. So, they're tied to multiple. So, and then there's this one from Erik says, y'all haven't seen a 10th of the receipts we've collected. Mistakes were made. We're just calculating. Regardless, we ain't stopping. And then he links to the campaign itself, which honestly is probably the best thing that he can do right now. Is linked to the campaign and see it grow. So, and for the record, I had this pulled up a little bit ago. At the time, shortly before, it had 19,370 purchasers. I'm refreshing it right now, and let's see if anybody else has bought it. Yeah, so they've sold 18 more comics since I refreshed it, at the start of the show. So, yeah, it's kind of where it's at. So, we're kind of at like an interesting point here where we have, like I said, we're not doing this for drama at all, right? We have a poll in the chat saying, should we let Vito on? I said, I don't know who Vito is. My only hesitation with that is I don't know who Vito is, and I don't want him to torpedo the show, right? I have no relationship with this guy at all. Never met him, never talked to him. And right now, just for the record, once again, the chat, you guys are the ones who make this decision. Right now, 53% of you say no, and 47% of you say yes. So, you guys are ultimately the executive producers of the show. So you guys make those decisions.
And you can't say Vito, that we're all biased because we have different opinions between us whether or not we should have him on the show. So
Vito says, if Erik was here, you'd let him speak immediately. I have to fight for the right to be heard. No, we'd probably do the exact same thing. We'd probably let a poll. It really kind of depends on the allegations, right? And if we have any sort of relationship with them. Like I said, I don't know you. I don't really know Erik, but I know people who know Erik and they vouch for him. I don't know anybody who knows you, right? And so, it's nothing personal. I'm just I got to do what's best for this channel because I don't want you coming on here and saying horrible shit, right? GK says, let Vito defend his position like anyone else. And listen, I'm going to be very clear. If I was voting in the poll, I would vote yes. But at the end of the day, you guys are the ones who make that decision. So, Nodding says, I love you guys, but saying you want to hear all perspectives but not letting him explain his side is a bad look on the show. Just my 2 cents. Nodding, I agree. I totally agree. And, like I said, you guys are the ones who make these decisions. So.
If it was hearing all perspectives, when you get both sides on, people.
That's true. Right, 100%. And I don't have, Erik's not going to come on, right?
Yep. Yep, Lethal, so. You're 100% right, and that's why I pointed out earlier he needs to take it with a grain of salt because we're reading his statements. They're his statements, so we are hearing your point of view that you put online.
Right, and exactly, we're 100% hearing we're hearing everything that you said. I've literally. Gone through your Twitter account.
I'll admit, I've been trashing the fella.
Right.
But if you want to get both sides on.
That's your opinion. You're our guest. You're here to talk about what we're talking about.
Right. Snow says, if your intuition says no, follow it. Let this go. Thank you, Snow. Appreciate that. And Vito says this shouldn't be a popularity contest. Let me defend myself. Vito, we follow our audience, my man. We follow our audience. So Matt says, I want to see this 50-50 so bad. And so I'll tell you, there you go. I don't know. Com says the poll is practically 50-50. I can tell you Vito isn't going to say anything that gets the channel in trouble. Well, I mean, hey, like I said, I don't know. I do want to read. There was a stream last night where Dick was on Rumble, and this is the very opening of a show, and I think it's important to pop in and check this out as well. So here we go. If you're just joining us, we're talking about this lawsuit that has been filed against Rippaverse on behalf of I guess it's the it's the ISOM. It's like a religious school church on behalf of the ISOM trademark. And I don't know, it's a lot. And I hope you guys understand. I'm trying to like navigate this in real time, right? I'm probably not going to navigate this properly. I know a lot of you guys want to see Vito on. A lot of you guys don't want to see Vito on. Vito definitely obviously wants to come on. And I'm trying to navigate this as best I possibly can. And I'm probably not going to, it's obvious that I'm not going to make the right decision for half of you, with 50% of you thinking one way and 50% of you thinking the other way. So, you know, it's just kind of roll with the punches here, roll with the punches. But let's go and watch this video real quick. And this is what Dick said last night at the start of his show.
Watch right now. Thank you for tuning into this one. No one else could make it. Everybody says they want to be in a lawsuit until a lawsuit comes. That's what I noticed when Maddox sued me. When the lawsuit came out, and it was such an obvious joke. An obvious joke that was perpetrated, that was done because of hurt feelings, a bruised ego, an ego the size of a 100,000 square foot warehouse or 10,000 square foot warehouse. An ego that big, a $6 million ego Maddox had. When everyone found out or realized quickly that his lawsuit was just that, a ramshackle affair cobbled together of bits of nonsense and conspiracies and insult online from anonymous detractors, silly things. When it came out, that's what Maddox's lawsuit was comprised of. Everyone said, "Wow, what a joke! How could he stand behind something like this?" And more importantly, I want in. Why didn't I get named? I want to be in this seminal work. This is the funniest thing Maddox has ever written. How come I didn't get in there? Ow, I wish I could have. I wish I would have shit posted harder. I wish I would have called him a cuck more. But it's too late. Once the lawsuit comes in, before the lawsuit, everybody's afraid. Nobody wants to get sued because it's a big pain in the ass. And it is. It's stupid, especially when people abuse the process, especially when people sue over hurt feelings and insane conspiracies and bullshit.
Can we pause for a second?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm having deja vu, but it's one of them things like when you try to be the moral of authority on a situation and you speak like that, you kind of lose, everything that you're saying. And I fall into that trap too. I have recently. You kind of lose the argument because of how you're saying it.
The one thing that I've heard a couple times in this is the idea of conspiracy theory, right? And I don't know. I feel like when you hear the term conspiracy theory, specifically in the last few years, it's just it kind of devalues the argument when it comes to, well, that's conspiracy theory. This is all. I do think, just looking at this from the outside in, there's a lot here. And I actually want to talk about this from a larger perspective. The larger perspective of if a third party was who is, let's just hypothetically say that this is a fan of Vito and Dick, right? This is a fan who has reached out independently and instigated this lawsuit, right? If this is a fan that's able to do this, that's real world consequences that have dangerous repercussions. Like very dangerous repercussions. You see this with, with cancel culture all the time. The idea of this person said something I didn't like. I'm going to find, your employer, tell them what you said, and ultimately, I'm going to ruin your life, right? Whoever sent the emails has very clear hate in their heart, right? They are obviously very jealous. They're very spiteful. They're fueled by vengeance. Now I'm going to say this, and I'm just going based off of the edited clip that Erik put together, right? Of Dick talking. He talked about, he was motivated by essentially being a troll, right? He said that in the video. Now, once again, I'm not implying that Dick put this together or whatever. But whoever did this, there are real world consequences. This will cost Dick, Vito, Erik, Rippaverse a lot of time, energy, and resources, and the people who are suing Erik this. There are, and that's the one thing that people forget about on this. Some people are so caught up in vengeance and anger and hate. And it goes back to there are, hurt people, right? And I don't know what this person did to instigate or feel the need to act as a instigator to do this, or what Erik did to them, or why they have so much angst in their heart. But it must have been bad, right? Or that person is mentally unhinged, which is a very strong possibility. So, yeah. Read a couple of these super chats. Blabs, you've been quiet.
Yeah, it's just a whole lot, and I agree with, where was that comment? Abomination in Rumble. Okay, sounds like this is a topic that should just be left alone and let them handle it in private, because there's just so much going on. I still think there's a lot that we don't know about.
Right. Well, and Vito's argument is, he's like, look, you guys, I'm right here. You can talk to me. And look, I'm at a crossroads here because I'm a big believer in talking things out, right? But this is also not my fight. And the one thing about Vito, you need to understand that anything you say right now on this show will be used in any sort of lawsuit, right? That needs to be very much recognized, is that everything that you say, every tweet that you use, every word that you utter from now until then publicly will be used in the court of law if this goes to any sort of lawsuit.
Well, and then we could be called in to give a deposition about it too.
Right. And I don't want to deal with that shit. So GK says, Geeks and Gamers has the right to hate Vito, but a lot of Geeks and Gamers here are voting no in a knee-jerk way. I think it's wrong. We need to hear his perspective. GK, I appreciate that. For sure.
I agree. I think it's not platforming somebody to have them come on and speak their side, even if you disagree with them personally on an issue that you're talking about. But like, we're not going to have the chance to have the other guy on because he's not doing interviews. So right now things are equal. Right. You've read both your statements.
Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says Vito's the kind of guy who would try to get your channel taken down for having Melanie Mac on. I still think he is allowed to defend himself, though. Yeah. Okay. So Diana came in and says with the $1 Rumble rant, says opinion here. If this were not all over social media, would it even be a big deal? Such before Twitter or any platform. Small town here, and feel this is only a small fish to fry. It's crazy.
I personally think it's all over Twitter because it is a big deal, because the ramifications for this can affect everybody who speaks their opinion online.
All right, look, I'm going to give you guys about, if you haven't.
I think this is just going to feed into drama. And what did we talk about the other day?
But okay, I totally understand that, Blabs. But I don't want drama. What I do want is conversation. And that's been a mission of this show from the start, is conversation and being able to hear all sides of a perspective. We talk about that ad nauseum. And I feel like if we don't have that conversation, we're being giant hypocrites. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, right? I want to be able to hear everybody's perspective. I feel like we've laid it out as best we possibly can, right? And that's socially been put out there, right? And that's kind of what I'm struggling with here.
I kind of am going back and forth on this because the other side has said they're not going to go on interviews and talk about it. So we're not going to have the chance to have the other side on, even if we want to. So you see what I'm saying?
Saying free speech. We're not like censoring anybody. Just because we don't bring someone on doesn't mean he can't go anywhere else and talk about anywhere else he wants to.
Well, it doesn't mean he can't.
We're not cutting off his voice. We've literally read everything. We've looked at both sides of the argument without bringing anyone else on and extra voices. I think this is fair.
You're right. And it's not like he can't go record a video right now and post it. And then we'll talk about it next time we're on. You know what I mean?
You keep saying, I deserve to speak? Yeah, go ahead. You can say wherever you want, whenever you want, on your own channels. Or whoever else wants to bring you on.
Now, I personally think we should have him on just to have the conversation.
If you want to have him on, then you do like a proper one-on-one, and you research the fuck out of him. And I say Rumble exclusive only.
Yeah, and I certainly don't think
trust YouTube.
It would be fair to have him on. Would be fair to our guest to have him on today.
Also, I think Lethal might shred him too. I'm not gonna lie.
I was here to talk about Armored Core.
I know, Lethal, and you've been very good, buddy. And you just walked into this this fan of chaos. Let me go to read these real quick. I want to make a decision. All right. Dickington Post says, "Stop telling people not to talk about things you censors." What is this? It was legit. It was a legit independent reporter investigating. #private reporter. #libertine reporting. Okay, thank you very much. Snow came in. Says, "Yes, Travis definitely knows the situation. Drop it. The other interviews like DSP, you know his BS. So it can be called out. Right now, it's legal and it's pure speculation. And Flippa will call you out." You mean Rippa? I'm guessing. Is that what he means? As Elite Neo says, "If Vito wants to defend himself, he has his own channel where he can do so. No one has the right to invite themselves on someone else's podcast." And this is very true. Absolutely. And Blabs, you're right. You know. Nicki says, #correct integrity. Yeah, for sure. 100%. And Lord Spleech says, "I say bring Vito on. He either makes a good counterpoint or he buries himself." All right. So this is what we're going to do. It's the poll's like, it's like almost split, 52 to 48, right? That's in a margin of error, which obviously it's, whatever. I'm going to bring Vito on, and I'm going to ask him questions about this. And I expect honest answers because I said this all along when it comes to interviews. I'm going to respect the audience. I'm going to respect the person I'm interviewing. I'm going to respect myself. Blabs, if you don't want to stick for this, that's totally fine.
I'm modding.
Also, we don't need any name calling from him if he's coming on the show. His personal opinions about whether or not somebody's a bitch or whatever, he can keep to himself. Or
I'll do the same, to be fair.
Okay.
Because that's not what we're bringing him on to talk about.
Bruce says you disrespected the audience's vote. Look, it's 50-50 at this point, 52-48, right? It's not a matter of disrespecting the audience's vote. For me, it's a matter of what our core mission is here at SideScrollers, is hearing all sides of perspective. Now, listen, Erik has said that he's not going to be doing podcasts, right? Obviously, Erik has his own platform, much larger than SideScrollers. And I encourage Vito to use his own platform to do this. My gut says to do this on Rumble.
Yep.
I agree.
What's that? Because I don't want anything to happen to the YouTube channel, right? So this is what I need you guys to do. I need you guys to go over to rumble.com/sidescrollers and go watch the show there, because that's where this is going to happen. I would like to do this on YouTube, but YouTube, it's tricky, man. We know we can ask questions on Rumble that we can't ask on YouTube. And if we get through this and if everything goes fine, then we'll upload it to YouTube, right? And we'll make it available for everybody. But I want everybody to head over to rumble.com/sidescrollers right now and join us over there. Lord Law says, I don't use Rumble. I'm sorry. Like, YouTube is a platform that doesn't allow this type of conversation to happen, which is unfortunate. I know.
Before you do make the jump, we do have memes, and it'd be only fair to show them off for everyone to see.
I know, like I said, I know that doing this, half of you are going to be like, you're a fucking idiot, right, for doing this. And half of you are going to be like, this is really fucking honorable for you doing this. Which I get both perspectives. Just know that I'm trying to navigate this in real time in the last 30 minutes, and we don't have a PR team telling me what to do, right? But it goes back to the mission of the show itself. So do us a favor, head over there now and kind of go. So Chili Dog says L for disregarding the vote. I don't think it's necessarily an L, right? Like it's 50-50, man. You know?
I mean, it's not.
Why do it in the first place then?
What's that? Do the poll?
Yeah. What was the point of it then?
Because I thought it'd be bigger. Honestly. And 50-50, it's like, it's too close. That's a good question to ask, man. So, all right. Yeah. Eric says, is that Elliot Page? Love you on Umbrella Academy. I don't know who that is.
Apparently, I look like Elliot Page. It's all right.
Okay.
What?
Historian says,
I've been called that a couple times.
All right. Okay. Well, historian, let's ask him about these things. All right. Couch says, Vito's word is worth toilet paper. See you guys. Okay, look, I'm going to give him 2 minutes. Like, that's it. Okay? Give him 2 minutes. I'm going to send him a link to the show. And, look, I know. Like, I get it. But this goes back to the show's about conversation. And if we're not able to have conversation, what are we doing? So, cool. And if, this doesn't go, like I said, we're going to start with 2 minutes and that's it. I don't even know how to get him a. Are
we still on YouTube?
Yeah,
we're still on YouTube right now.
Do you want me to share tweet memes?
Yeah, we need to.
Yes.
Share that stuff, promote Lethal's channel and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hang on.
Absolutely.
I can do it right now. Okay, guys. So this is Lethal. All right. What are we looking at? Lethal Lightning. Boom. So subscribe to Lethal. He does reviews. And look at that. 3K on this one for Rockstar Games. Sweet. Hyper Lethal. You do a gaming podcast at least once a week.
Once a week. Stream video games over there. Playing through Armored Core on Kick as well.
Okay, hang on a second. Share this tab. So there's the Hyper Lethal and also on Kick. Links are in description, guys. Mods have it. All right, so let's look at memes. All right, there's a bunch of them to look at. Please hold. Okay. Share this.
And while you're doing this, make sure you guys head over to, head over to rumble.com/SideScrollers. So.
Okay, so Lethal the Critic from Cloud.
Bullshit. Derivative. That I love. I absolutely love.
That's just the air conditioner.
I want it.
That's true. You do love Masada. All right, let's see. And then the next one from Superman. If he wasn't afraid of no green rocks. Lethal Lightning and the Order of the Jedi. It says, you are a Jedi, Lethal. I'm a what? Lethal Lightning and the Order of the Jedi.
It's still better than it's still better than the prequels and the sequels combined.
Oh, yeah. Right. And then we also have Call of Duty Donald Trump. Why not? From core member. And I think that's everything.
At this point, why if they're going to be putting Nicki Minaj in there, why not just allow people to put whoever the fuck they want if they're public figures?
All right. Guys, we're going to head over to Rumble now. I have passed the link on to Vito via DM. I appreciate you guys rolling with this. Like I said, I know that, some of you guys are like, what the hell are you doing? And some of you guys are like, good, let's hear his perspective. I look, you're not going to make everybody happy sometimes. And I understand you guys, just kind of rolling with it. And
let's preface this by saying, just because we're having him on does not mean we agree with him, does not mean we, go with everything he says and everything he says is right or any of that. We're just hearing what he has to say.
Right. So that's kind of where we're at. And then, like I said, we're going to go for just a couple minutes over on Rumble. Please head over to rumble.com/SideScrollers and hit the follow button while you guys are there. Greatly appreciate that. Okay, we're going to end over on YouTube right now, and we're going to bring him on to talk about it. So once again, if the conversation is worth anything, we'll bring it back over to YouTube, and we'll post it later today on the channel. So with that said, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. Twitch, we're going to say goodbye to you. Goodbye, Twitch. Blads, where are you?
Fatality.
There you go. Get the hell out of here, Twitch. And then we got YouTube. It's time to get the hell out of you, YouTube. You guys, once again, head over to rumble.com/SideScrollers right now and continue the stream there.
Bye.
Thank you.
Fatality.
Yeah. Is that over on Tubes?
Yeah.
We are over on Tubes.